When he said that when God began to reveal to him all the things that were going to come to pass, that for 3 days he was weak in his bed, that thing will drain you. Because you will say, God, who can be saved? Who will be able to endure? Who will be able to outstand what the enemy is doing? Not that you doubt the power of God, but you doubt the power of people's ability to yield to what God want to do. I'm not doubting God, but I begin to doubt, do people really want him like that? Will they really yield to him like that? Will they really resist the devil like that? I mean, I really begin to be nervous. God began to tell me something. He told me, he said, listen, I began to tell him in prophetic class. God said this last quarter of the year that there's going to be such an attack against prophetic women like you have never experienced. It's going to be such an emotional time. The enemy going to try to weigh you in your emotions, and it's really going to take a woman who got the tenacity to break past her emotions and know what she knows spiritually. You can't guess, you can't go off nobody. You're going to have to know what you know about God down in your spirit, because that's the only thing that's going to break the clutches of the enemy out of you. You're going to have to say, I know that God is able to do this. I know, devil, I know I'm feeling one way, but I know what God said about my life, and I'd rather live what God said than live in what I feel. Come on here. You're going to have to know it. You're going to have to know it like your name. What God, you're going to have to confess the promises of God over your life, in your life, and to your life. See, let me tell you something. The gift of prophet is going to be stirred, because you have to prophesy to yourself that I will live and not die. You're going to have to prophesy to yourself. I will not give up. Because I know what God said. The race ain't given to the swift or the strong. I am one of the ones who will endure to the end. You're going to have to tell yourself, the Lord is my shepherd and I shall not want. Devil, you are lack. I back you up. I will not be in lack. I'm not going to be destitute. You are a lie. God don't gave me the power to get wealth, to establish his covenant in the earth. I'm a kingdom sower and a kingdom builder. And I am going to reap the harvest of my sowing. I am going to reap, come on here, of my giving. You're going to have to begin to, come on, by his stripes, I'm already here. When the headache comes, I'm already here. When you get the diagnosis in your body, I'm already here. When you feel sick, I'm already here. It ain't about what I feel. I'm telling you what I believe. I am what the words say. I am here. That's what the words say. He began to tell me, and I got nervous. God began to deal with me in dreams. The first dream, it was about the women. And he began to tell me that there was a feminist lesbian movement that's a movement upon the church and even in the atmosphere upon the women. And where women would, I just saw them, and they were just, it was like the enemy was using the setup, the brokenness of relationships, the disappointment to woo them in. And there was a subtle spirit that was trying to seduce the women into relationship with other women. And these were women who were not even struggling. And all of a sudden, these women were coming out of nowhere, befriending them and taking them and hooking up with them. And before they know it, the relationship was going to be perverted. And I began to pray. But then the Lord showed me, and I saw 12 men. And it was like the men were walking. They were married men. He said the spirit of adultery. And looked like the cloud came up behind the men and engulfed them. And it was like once the thing engulfed them, it's like they were in it. And I looked inside the cloud, and the men, you know how a cloud is like fog, and they were trying to see their way out but couldn't. They were trying to get out of it and could not get out. And God said there were some women that are being reared up from the enemy that's going to go, and their purpose is to sleep with these men. Come on here, somebody better hear me. And he said it was going to be so profound that the men were going to be so yoked up with the women that they were not going to know how to get free. And I began to say, well, Lord, how can that be? But you know, we all know relationships we had. We wanted to leave and couldn't leave. They had to leave us. We didn't know how to break it out. We tried, but it didn't work. And we said we wasn't going back. And we told ourselves we didn't want them no more. But the urge and the desire was still there. Because something had to happen had to leave us. See, nobody want to be real about that, because you didn't know how to leave. You didn't know how to get free, even though you said it and you wanted to be free, and you knew it wasn't healthy, and you knew it wasn't God, but seemed like you just couldn't get free. Looked like the soul tie was so tight and so deep you couldn't free yourself. See, I wish I was talking to some real people who really say, because some of y'all, you really tried to say, you know what, I ain't bothered with you no more. You ain't gonna pull on me no more. And out of nowhere, you say, Lord, how I feel an urge. Why am I still thinking about it? I know this ain't good. I know this ain't healthy. I know this ain't even the will of God for my life. Why can't I just let it go? Why does it still bother me if they with somebody else? Why am I still curious of what they're doing? Why am I still wondering what's going on in their life? Why? Oh, why? And God began to tell me, he said, you got to begin to pray. And so I got nervous. And I was saying, Lord, please, in the name of Jesus, I began to really pray. And I said, even though I wasn't one of the 12 men, I saw it. And sometimes we are affected by what we see. Come on, let's talk about Lot and his daughters. And let's talk about his wife. What you see can affect you. And when you think you got free from it, it be you. See, nobody want to be real. I said, God, don't let me get so caught up in what me, that what I saw, it gets to me, that after a while I want to live what I saw. Come on here, somebody. I said, God, I'm trying to not think more highly of myself than I ought to think. And I don't want to think that I'm so high in God that I can't fall in. Because that's what the enemy, that's a setup of pride. That you think you won't do it and you can't do it. And God began to tell me that thing. But I had to pray about that thing so I could get that thing to lift up off of me. Because that thing began to bother me. Because listen, all 12 of the men were men I was close to. Men I love and have great admiration for. And I said, Lord, how you going to be all around that and none of it affect you? So I said, Lord, I said, well, God, what you showed me, so I'm to pray. Not just for myself, but for these men. I slowly began to tell a couple of them, you better pray. Because see, the worst deception is think, well, no, I love my kids too much. I love my wife too much. I would never do it. See, that's a lie. Because see, baby, when the enemy catch you up, you won't be thinking about them. Your mind will be caught up in some other stuff. And you know, all it would take is one really bad argument and some hurtful words. I can't get no help in here. That's all it would take, a bad argument and some hurtful words. And the enemy set up somebody right there to encourage you, to love on you, to make you feel like you're important. See, everybody, I still tell them, no, you saying all of that. But baby, when your heart hurting and your mind is confused and you're not thinking straight, you don't know what you, good God Almighty, what you'll do to feel better. One thing I recognize in this hour, truth and transparency gonna save somebody. Your truth and transparency gonna save. I know it's gonna save me. It's your confession. People running from confession. You don't want nobody to think you jacked up, baby. I don't care what you. I'd rather you think I'm jacked up than to be jacked up, baby. Cause see, why are you thinking about it? I'll mess around there and be jacked up for real, trying to block what you think about me. You worry about what people gonna think. And if you ain't careful, you will be that thing. And I'm trying to outlive a lie about me. I don't know about you. The enemy already don't form a, you can outlive a lie though. I just begin to pray. I tell them and I say, y'all, we got to pray. We got to get ourselves together and pray. And you know, God been telling me to pray. It's going to provoke us to pray for our families, your wives, your kids, your daughters. And you know, even when I was telling them, I said, Lord, I was telling about this spiritualism. And then I heard some news last night about a young lady that got caught out there. I said, God, it made me cover my girls. Because see, you think your kids exempt. Who you think that you think the devil don't want your kids? He want them. And if you escape, he say your seed won't. I say, you're a lie. The same God that got me to escape, my children go escape. You better, oh,